But now we're going to get the PVA sealer on the new drywall.
You're using a PVA sealer.
PVA sealer.
And what kind of roller is that, Jimmy?
Lamb's wool, natural lamb's wool roller.
Uh-huh. And you like using lamb's wool because of why?
Less splatter comes off the roller, easier paint coverage. They clean out quicker, they last longer than synthetic rollers. So basically, just a better process. And I'm going to roll right down through here because I'm going to paint this casing. I'm going to come right down through here with the roller.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, that's goes on quite nice, smoothly.
And you're not using an extension pole.
No, not for this. I'll do
Because you got just a small little
yeah,
bit, right?
Exactly. So, probably what I'll do is come along through here and brush this out so you don't leave brush marks on the casing. I mean, a roller mark on the casing. Get that casing sealed here on the edge for when I paint cut in the walls. And I can just cut it in with the color and get.
And you're just doing that quick because ultimately you're going to end up repainting that casing.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
That's why you're.
Yeah.
Doing
It's going to be finished painted. And the top line, because the ceiling's already painted, but I'll cut it in with a brush and then touch up the ceiling in here because it's already been painted in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just cut the corner in. And you'll probably end up touching it up. But if you're going to put a crown up here, sometimes I'll just leave it like that.
Right.
But I'm going to paint all the way to the top to get a good seal on the walls.
Right.
So you'll have it.
So normally you put you cut in everything last.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That way your paintbrush strokes aren't very long, right?
Yes. There you go. Exactly.
And you don't have to paint as much because your roller covers more than you might have thought initially.
Yeah. Indeed.
And this baseboard's getting repainted too, so that's why you're not
Yeah, I'm not being too careful. Because I'll cut that, paint that over, and that'll be a final coat on that. We'll get this up here, and make sure this is all sealed along the top, or taped it, and over in the corners. You know. So it's a pretty fast process here to get it sealed. By the time I get around to the other corner here and the sealing done, this will be dry enough to go over with the finish.
right.
Which will probably end up putting 2 coats of finish on, maybe, depending on coverage, but
Yeah.
and
Well, because you're going over straight sheetrock spray texture, so you may have to do 2 coats.
yeah, get it sealed good, you know, and the color is antique white. We're going over the color that we're using is antique white, so it's got a little color additive to it. So
Yeah.
in order for it to be good coverage on the walls, we can get a process today of get it all painted.
And you're not really cutting it in per se perfect because you're
No.
you're going to redo this ceiling too, right?
Yeah, we're gonna.
But if you weren't redoing this ceiling, you'd have to cut that line in right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we cut it in with a nice cut-in brush.
Yeah.
Good stiff cut-in brush. And the bristles on the brush are important when you're cutting in. You get a good stiff bristle brush, which they make, opposed to a soft bristle. You can cut a clean line with it with a brush stroke technique that's real good for cutting in 2 different colors, a ceiling white and a wall beige or something.
Yeah.
You need a good, because taping a lot of times you get bleed through, but with a nice cut-in brush, you can cut a nice line without taping.
Yeah, so this brush you're using is not a cut-in brush
No,
per
it's
se.
just a regular old quick rough end brush.
Yeah.
Rough cut brush. And when I go to cut the ceiling in, I'll use the other brush just to give it a nice line before the crown goes up, so it looks finished here, temporary till the crown goes up. Oh yeah. I like to use, it's a little bit better than the sealer I'm using is a little bit better than a regular PVA. It's got a little bit more coverage to it, a little thicker material, so it covers a lot better one coat than a regular PVA sealer.
Well, so what is it? What is this? A little bit just.
Yeah, it's a universal primer. It's a
Okay.
it's better than just a PVA sealer.
Uh-huh.
So I use that just because it gives you a better coverage rate. And it actually seals it up nice for your finish coat on the walls. So we've gone through a process here with the
Yeah.
wallpaper stripping off and then drywall texture, and now we're sealing it, and the process is underway here. We're going to end up with a final project, a result of painted walls instead of the old wallpaper that was on here, and all uniform texture.
Yeah, it's not just a matter of pulling the wallpaper off and painting your walls, is it?
No, you have to get them all good and sealed and smooth, and even for your texture to start on, because you need
What are you doing there now? You got a paint grid there.
got a paint grid and a 5-gallon bucket. I dump my material into the bucket out of the gallon can,
Yep.
and I just work out of the bucket with a roller, and it works really good.
And you've got a little grid thing there to only put on as much as you want on the paint roller and give it a good coverage.
Exactly. Yeah.